Hello, college biology. This is our first photosynthesis video. And we're going to take an overview of photosynthesis and decide what our big picture objectives are going to be. What's going on, big picture, with photosynthesis. So, having gone through the major work we've done with cellular respiration, I hope that this is more accessible and a little more easy to grasp than our first try with cellular respiration was. So, onward to photosynthesis. You are likely familiar with this reaction. Plants need light, they need carbon dioxide, and they need water, and that allows them to produce glucose and oxygen. Well, I don't have to tell you, because we've already gone through this with cellular respiration. This is a lie. This is a simplification of the many, many complex reactions that occur in cellular respiration. So let's go right to it and start taking a look at that. Cellular respiration has two phases. They're called the light-dependent reactions and the Calvin cycle. And both of these occur in a chloroplast. And there are different parts of the chloroplast, which we're going to go to a little bit later. But essentially, in the light-dependent reaction, we'll zoom in on the light-dependent reaction. In the light reaction, light is captured by these networks of proteins that are embedded in the membrane here, and we'll talk about that later, called photosystems. Photosystems are simply networks of proteins that will isomerize. They'll change their shape when they're struck with radiant energy. And so we've got two of these, and they do different things. This first photosystem, which is actually called photosystem 2. They were named after the order in which they were discovered, not the order in which they were used in photosynthesis, so that's confusing. But in photosystem 2, this light energy is used to split water. And when you split water, you essentially get three things here. You get some protons, you get some oxygen, which the plant then releases. That's why plants release oxygen, is because they split in the water, and they get to take some electron. So they get an electron out of water. They use light to get an electron out of water. Now that electron can pass through the photosystem and go here to an electron transport chain that provides energy for synthesis of ATP. This section is just like the proton pumps and ATP synthase from respiration. The electron is literally being used to move protons, which then trigger the production of ATP. They're not even showing it here. They're taking a shortcut, but that's what's happening here. So we're making ATP with that electron, but we're not done. The electron is then passed to a new photosystem which also collects energy from light, and it produces an ADPH. So now we have an electron carrier. So the light-dependent reaction is making an electron carrier and ATP. Why is it doing that? Well, because in the Calvin cycle, we're going to need that ATP, and we're going to need those electron carriers that we made. We start with this molecule called RUBP, which the gray circles are carbon. It has 5 carbon. And then the plant needs carbon dioxide. So we don't breathe in carbon dioxide, and plants don't breathe the same way we do. But they do. Carbon dioxide will diffuse into the plant, and when it does that, RUBP, the enzyme Rubisco, will do a reaction to create 3-phosphoglycerate, and then we'll use ATP to do another reaction to give us 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, and then we'll use our electron carriers to do another reaction to make 6,3-GP. Well, one of those 3-GP we're going to spit out, but the other 5 are going to go back into the cycle. We're going to use more ATP, and we're going to get back to RUBP. So when we go all the way around the cycle, we use ATP, we use our electron carriers, and then we get 1,3-GP. Well, 1,3-GP, not useful. It's a 3-carbon compound. We can't really do much with 1,3-GP. But if we go through the cycle again, we get another carbon dioxide, we use Rubisco to combine it with RUBP, and we start this stuff again, then we get 2 3-GPs, and that is useful because if you've got 2 3-carbon compounds, you can give us that good old 6-carbon compound, which we called glucose, and you can even make other sugars out of it as well. So, big picture, photosynthesis big picture. This is what we want to take away from this video. Light is used to split water and release its electrons. The electrons are used to make ATP and electron carriers, and the ATP and the electron carriers with carbon dioxide are used to make glucose. I hope this helps. Struggle well.